Hey guys, it's Adam Blends here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to get my signature style on the gorgeous Jess Evans using all of Trigwell Cosmetics products. Today we're going to go for a gorgeous, soft glam. What would you describe your go-to makeup look to be?
Bronzy, glowy, snatched.
Yeah.
But still natural.
Still natural. Still keeping it very soft, really effortless, but almost enhancing your features in a really gorgeous way. And I feel like you've got a gorgeous canvas anyway, so that's going to be great. So just using a cream concealer, I'm going to carve Jess's eyebrows. She's got gorgeous eyebrows to begin with, so we don't need to do too much. Taking a flat concealer brush, I'm just defining right underneath the brow and pulling out and straight. I almost like the brows to go quite straight. Jess's brow naturally does come down, but I want to pull it out and straight. I find that using a creamy product on the actual eyelid is so much better because you have more time to play with it. So you just want to lay it on the eyes and create a blank canvas ready for your eyeshadows. And I only really like to define on the arch of the brow, because I find doing it all over the brow is so 2016, and like I said, we're trying to go keep up with the trends, aren't we? So I'm going to slightly bring that concealer forward, and then I'm just going to repeat the same steps on the other eye. Honestly, you have a dream face to paint. So easy. Everything's just gliding. And then taking that concealer all over the lid, just to take out any of like the redness or discoloration and just making it all smooth and ready for the eyeshadow. Then you're going to take a slightly fluffier brush and you're going to pat in the product. Patting in the product will help the product become more fuller coverage and also set. This is going to help us get that sort of soft, snatched look that we want. So by taking out the concealer onto the temples, I'm creating lightness, which will later contrast with the contours and really sculpt the face. So I just take it down the center, the T-zone, and that just like lightens the front. And then guys, one of the biggest tips that I have for you guys to speed up your makeup process is taking a concealer, but deeper shade, and adding it to the socket of your eye. And what that does is it speeds up your eyeshadow process and you won't have to do too many eyeshadows. And that really helps with the soft girl look. And it's also taking up like skipping a few steps really, because you're there blending eyeshadows. So you may as well just add a darker concealer.
What's your favourite look to do on client?
This.
This.
Yeah. I feel like an Adam Blends look is very much soft, snatched, gorgeous. So once you've got the eye base laid down, we're going to move on to one of Trigwell's most loved products, which is their powder. I'm going to be using a translucent powder over the eyelids. It will just smooth everything out, ready for the eyeshadows. So taking Trigwell's T08 brush with a little bit of their translucent powder, I'm going to start tapping that on to the eyes. And what that's going to do is it's going to set everything in place, and it's going to help our eyeshadows blend so much better. Do you set your eyelids, by the way, or no?
Sometimes, but not all the time.
No. I feel like this is actually something we used to do back in the day. Do you remember?
Before you put anything else on it, like concealer.
I just feel like everything blends so much more easier. And if you're someone who isn't an expert at makeup and you're just sort of wanting your makeup to look that flawless way like you see on Instagram, this I feel like just makes it so much easier. Guys, there's something about this look as well with making a mistake. Actually, it sounds really weird, but if you make a little mistake in your eyeshadow and it doesn't look totally symmetrical, that's part of the sexy and the sultry vibe that I like to go for. So next I'm just taking a bronzer, which I will later use on the skin also, which makes everything really cohesive and come in with that soft girl look. I'm going to just add this to the outer corner of the eye, close to the lash line. I'm bringing it into the socket. And this is only a bronzer, so everyone has a bronzer at home. And it's really easy to achieve this sort of look. I want it to be really, really easy for you guys to do at home. So I'm just blending out the bronzer that we've applied to the eyes and the socket and the crease, pulling it nice and out towards the temples of the eyes. Guys, you don't need to be too structured with this step. You just want to get it on. And that is the whole idea of a soft, effortless glam. It doesn't need to be structured. Almost think of where you would put the eyeliner is where you want to take the eyeshadow. I'm just adding a little bit of concealer to the front of the eye just to lighten it back up. And then we're going to take a nude eyeshadow over top. So like I did just on the other eye, I'm just lightening the front part of the eye again, just looking at my eyes a bit like a contour, so dark to light, light to dark. Right guys, so I'm just taking a flat brush and I'm going to be adding a lighter nude eyeshadow to the front of the eyes. This will just really brighten up the front portion of the eye. And again, it will bring it back to what I was saying before, the light to the dark.
Who would be your dream client? If you could choose anyone.
I think Khloe Kardashian.
Yeah?
I think she's a gorgeous, gorgeous girly. I think she's very my vibe when it comes to glam.
Yeah.
So just adding more of the lighter shade to the front of the eye. So next I'm going to get Jess to look straight ahead and we're going to use a darker brown eyeshadow and we're going to map out a wing. I sometimes love my wings to go quite up, but recently I've been loving to just sketch them out to go quite straight. So how I do that is by taking a small defined brush and I get Jess to look straight ahead and I'll just map out a little bit of a shape. So doing your eyeliner with the eyes open, you're really going to see what shape you're creating and how snatched you're getting your eyeliner as opposed to when your eyes close. And guys, also using an eyeshadow as opposed to an actual liquid liner is actually so much easier. Do you do your wing sometimes with an eyeshadow?
Yeah.
It's just so much easier. So to further enhance this eye look, we're going to add a soft lash, nothing too dramatic, still sticking to that sort of soft girl, clean girl era makeup. So a little tip with your lashes is once you've applied the glue, you want to sort of take it and do a little bendy movement, almost creating like a little U. And what that does is it just helps apply the lash to the outer corner and it will go on so much easier as it will just fit the eye so much better. And a good way to do your eyelashes, if you are a makeup artist especially, is get your client or your model to look down, that way their eye is stretched out, and then you want to take the lash and add it to the outer corner. I almost love adding the lash and putting it sort of higher on the outer corner because it gives the illusion of that boxy eye lift. Next up, I'm just going to take a brown felt tip liner and just further define the eyeliner ever so slightly and taking it across the lash line so the lashes that we have applied blend in seamlessly. Next up, I'm going to start the skin prep and we're going to do the skin prep really hydrated because I like to use a lot of the powder over top. So it's really important that you hydrate your base. And I'm using Trigwell's T05 brush, and this brush is perfect to put on your moisturizer and your skin prep with. It just gets it on nice and even.
You could use like the best foundation, everything, but if you haven't prepped your skin,
it just doesn't look as cute. Next up, we're going to go on to skin. And now guys, I like to use my foundation last. So I like to rely on concealer for the coverage and foundation more so to just get that seamless blend between the two. So I'm going to take a concealer, which is this similar shade to her skin, or if not, a little bit darker. What that's going to do is take away any darkness that she has, although she has none. So I just like to take the concealer in the inner corner and really pull out. And again, I'm just doing everything really strategically to how I want to sculpt and contour Jess's face and also like lip. I'm bringing it down the side of the nose. What this does is it gives the illusion of a slimmer nose if you're trying to contour your nose. Do you know what my clients say to this weird thing? When I'm doing their lips, I stretch my lip. So as you can see, I rely on the concealer for most of the coverage on the face. I just feel like that is exactly why concealer is made. But sometimes when you have a gorgeous canvas like this, less is more. Next, we're going to take a cream bronzer on the back of our hands and start to warm up the face. So everything I'm doing right now is super reverse. And this is what I like to call the reverse skin. Again, I'm not using my foundation first. I'm going to start by applying it on the perimeter of the face and bringing it in. And I like to go quite warm with this because I know later on I'm going to be adding foundation over top and it's really going to make everything work. At this stage it can look a little bit scary, but I promise you it all comes together. As much as doing the makeup this way can look very complex, once you've got it down, I promise you, you will be done within 15 minutes your full base. And it will just look so much better, and less is more. And now we're going to add some foundation to get the coverage and blend the two together. So as you can see, I'm going in between the concealer and the contour. So using Trigwell's T04 brush, it's just so good because it's really dense and it's fluffy at the same time. So it blends it out and it also pats the product in really, really well. So pat, pat, pat. And then when you need to, you can blend, and that's why this brush is perfect. And you can go over that sort of contour that we were doing before, and what that's going to do is it's going to create that sort of seamless skin where it's like contoured but not like scary contour. The perfect amount of fluff but the perfect amount of density where it gets the base looking gorgeous. You'll just see that that contour we applied before that might have looked a little bit scary has now softened. So I like to go on quite heavy with my blush. Again, I like to do everything in reverse. So I'm going to add this blush quite heavy, and then I'm going to brighten in the inner corner of the eyes using a brighter concealer. And that's going to give you that nice transition blush, that very Kylie Jenner look that everybody wants. So we're going to take that blush. I'm just patting it out on my hand before I go onto the face. Get Jess to look straight ahead, chin up, side that way. And I'm taking it directly just underneath the eye almost. And it's where we all used to highlight in 2016. What's working on Jess's face might not work on yours, but that's when you need to learn like where to put it. I just strongly advise you take your blush where we used to highlight in 2016, which is like that, just right under there. And take your blush there because it just elevates and lifts your face and makes you look really happy and sun-kissed. So guys, I'm just going to take the brighter concealer now and add it underneath the eyes, and I'm just using a nice fluffy brush for this. But now we're matting all the products together and it really starts to come together at this point. Once we set it all using the Trigwell loose powder and a little bit of shade 0 as well to really brighten, it's just going to make everything just look insane. You want to get your model to look up, and then you want to pat out any of the creases. Now guys, we all have creases. There's no way of getting rid of them. Let's just face it. I always get asked, like, I don't know if you get asked this, but I'm always like, how do you get rid of creases?
You can't.
You can't. I feel like it's not, this powder's not drying, so it's perfect for that.
It's not thick.
No, it's like light, finely milled. So once you've patted it out underneath the eyes, you want to take your sponge, the sponge that we all know, my best friend in my kit, and we're going to take the shade Pink. So you want to load your velvet sponge up, press it on your skin, you're not too much, and you want to start to press it on underneath the eyes. If you get carried away with the powder, which I tend to do a lot of the time to get that flawless look, you can later go in and hydrate the makeup using your Holo spray from Trigwell, my newest favorite product that I've added to my kit. This spray has niacinamide in it, and I use niacinamide as it is for my skin. What that does is it really minimizes any pores that you have to make sure you, again, have that flawless filtered look. So I'm going to really drench Jess's face in it. And then your velvet sponge comes in handy again, because what you can do is just press in all that spray that you've just done, and that would just really make your makeup look gorgeous and flawless.
That mist is so nice because
it was so fine, wasn't it? Just gonna use Pretty Privilege on Jess, and it's more of the deeper pink between the two blushers that I love from Trigwell. This one is Pink and Poison, and yeah, I like to do like a little bit of a transition. Now these blushers are very pigmented, so you just want to take a little bit and honestly just do pat 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 on the edge. A tip that I actually learned from watching Makeup by Ariel's videos is you want to sort of open your brush up like that, and it sort of disperses your blush gorgeous. So you just want to do the flick of the wrist. And then we're just going to take Pink and Poison, and we're going to add this to transition the two blushes together. Now this is like a milkshake pinky dream. As you can see, I'm a big fan of blush, and if you do go a little bit crazy, you just take a little bit of your translucent powder again and just diffuse the two together. I'm using a fluffy eyeshadow brush to do the lip. I feel like this is the perfect way to do lips because it just gives you that soft amount of color and diffuses out your lip liner. And for that, I'm using Trigwell's T10 brush. So next I'm going to be using Trigwell's lip oils. Now I actually, a bit controversial, but I love these lip oils. A lot of people might compare them to the Dior lip oils, and I did at one point love them until I discovered this. With the Dior, I find it can be a little bit sticky, so I don't actually get the oil element in it. Whereas these are so lightweight on your lips, but still do the exact same, and they're super high shine. Just see on the lips. And I feel like the colors are really universal with these. And then just because I'm extra, I'm going to take a little bit of sparkle just with my ring finger and add it to the lids whilst Jess looks down. Not too much, still keeping it quite soft. I think that's alright, isn't it?
No, I love that.
So guys, this is the finished look. If you want to create this at home, then shop the products down below.